Alla prima. To paint alla prima means you paint directly on, you kind of put the strokes down, you build the material up, you don't go back a whole lot. It's kind of a fresh first layer finishing up. It's a quick way of painting. Let me see what we can do here. So if I decide I want to paint something alla prima, I would paint pretty strong colors. I'm going to allow my paintbrush marks to show and be fairly planned. So I might have something happening like this. And I would paint directly on the surface and plan my brush strokes so that they work with the piece. It's a direct way of painting. It's a fairly fast way of painting, and a lot of artists use this method if they're going outside to paint landscapes where they would sit and finish the piece up in a fairly short period of time. Your brush strokes stay pretty obvious. They're fairly intentional. It's not a lot of blending, not a lot of other techniques go into it. Alright, and there's a little alla prima painting. I'd finish up the edges a little bit more before I would call it finished. But a little piece with some direct color changes. A lot of the paintings mixed on top of the surface of the canvas. The next one is a double loaded brush. You can load a brush with more than one color at the same time, and when you make the brush stroke, it's going to get a wet into wet look within the stroke. So here I have, here I have just a brush loaded in red, but if I take this brush and load it in red and then tip it into another color, I have more than one color available on there, and you can start to see that blending is picking up on here. So I have a double-loaded brush. It's great for making leaves or foliage where you might pick up more than one green in there. Try it with a green. See if I can get you a green here. Alright, so if you were making foliage and you had a leaf, and you had a leaf that you were painting, and you had more than one color of paint on your brush, you can start to get some shading happening as the leaves are starting to develop in front of each other. So it's just another way of doing it. It's more than one color on the brush at the same time, so when you pull through those strokes, you're getting some mixing happening on the brush. It's not like I've taken two brush strokes and put them together. So this is a double-loaded brush, and you can do a variety of things that mixes within it, that's not stirred together on the palette. It's kind of stirred together through the stroke of the brush.